spy with my little eye something beginning with E?
Expensive.
No.
Extortionate.
No.
Extremely pricey.
Electric car.
Electric cars can be all those things.
Yeah, I bet you think that as well, don't you? You're not alone. But the MG4 is exceptionally good value. See what I did there? Exceptionally good value. E.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, ye of little faith. I bet you thought the same thing, didn't you? And you wouldn't be alone. But the MG4 does offer exceptionally good value. Also, I've heard, we'll have to check it out, won't we? MG's first fully electric hatchback is causing quite a stir in the world of expensive EVs. Why? Because it claims to offer the perfect blend of realistic range and features for a competitive price. But is there a catch? You'll have to keep watching to find out. You'll also find out what the best value trim level is, in my opinion, should you decide that you want one. This is the MG4, MG Motors' new futuristic fully electric hatchback. It's quite different to other electric MGs because it's built on a different base to them. And the design is quite a contrast too, don't you think? As standard, the MG4 comes with these almond-shaped LED headlights, sporty front end, 17-inch alloys, tinted glass and a rear spoiler. And if you upgrade to top trim, which is this one that I've got here, you'll get this two-tone black roof, rear privacy glass, twin aero spoiler, heated folding wind mirrors and funky rear light bar. Aside from the funky light bar, MG have kept things really simple with the 4. There's just 3 trim levels to choose from and 2 battery sizes. They're all single motor and rear wheel drive. SE standard is the entry level option. It's got a 51 kilowatt hour battery and gives you up to 280 miles of range. That's priced from just under 27 grand. SE long range, as the name suggests, is the same as the SE but with a longer range. It's got the bigger 64 kilowatt hour battery and gives you up to 281 miles range. It'll cost you around 2.5 grand more than the standard SE. The Trophy Long Range is the top level trim. It's got the 64 kilowatt hour battery and gives you up to 270 miles of range. It looks sportier than the SE and it gives you more features. I'll get onto those. It's priced from just under 32.5 grand. But don't make your mind up on which one to get yet. You've not seen the interior. Let me show you. It's very simple and modern in here. Very office-like. I'm seeing a theme with new electric cars. They all feel like offices. The dash is like a desk. You've got a little touchscreen here. A pad. That's a wireless charging pad for your phone. Looks a bit like a mouse mat, doesn't it? This is the gear selector. That's a bit mouse-like. Little printed touch here, a la Polestar. The centre console is down here, quite low, I suppose to give you more space. You've got a USB and USB-C port here. You'll have to look to find them though. You've got 2 cup holders, another cubby hole with a slider here to disguise your mess. Armrest and another little cubby hole down here for all your bits. Small door bins, but they're big enough for a drink. The steering wheel is interesting. It's flat-bottomed, sporty and wrapped in leather. Behind it, you've got a small digital driver's display that tells you your speed, range and your other driver info. I like that the screens aren't huge and there's loads of space for your stuff, even your sunglasses. The seats in this car are pleather with a cloth insert, but as standard they come in fabric. They do feel a bit cheap, but with Trophy you get heated seats and the driver's seat is electrically adjustable, so maybe you can compromise. At this price point for an electric car though, there were bound to be some compromises. And another is the plastics, especially the ones on the door. But we don't rub the doors often, do we? So I think that's a compromise most people won't mind making. Size-wise, the MG4 is the size of your average hatchback. It's a similar size to a Volkswagen Golf. There's lots of room in the front, and in the back, there's ample leg and headroom for your passengers. No middle headrest though, which is a bit odd. I won't want to sit in the middle long anyway. I think I've got some trauma from those long trips as a kid, where I was forced to sit in the middle because I was the shortest. Glad I don't have to do that anymore. You've got a USB port down here so that your kids can fight over who's going to drain the battery first. You've got some decent sized door bins. They're not huge, but you've got enough space to put a can of pop. You've got the standard kind of kangaroo pouch at the back of the seat. and 2 small pleather pouches at the top. I don't know what you've put in there, but I hope no one puts food in there. That is a valeter's nightmare. And a cubby hole here. To the boot we go. Let's see what that's like. Now, the boot is a bit disappointing because while the MG4 is the average size of a hatchback, it lacks the usual boot space. You'll get 363 litres with the seats up and 1,177 litres with them down. It's not the best in its category for boot space. Both the VW ID3 and the Cupra Born have got a good 22 litres on it with the seats up and 90 litres with them down. But there's a good 10 grand difference between them and the MG4. There's no frunk, sadly, but you do have a little loading floor. Anywho, shall we get back to the features? Let me know if that's your favourite part. It's definitely one of mine. As standard, all MG4s get Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, lane assist, and MG's usual package of safety tech. You get the MG app as standard, so you can preheat the car from your phone. You also get the vehicle to load feature, which means you can turn your car into a battery. Using the adapter, you can power everything from your hairdryer to your TV. The Trophy Long Range version is where you get all the upgrades. As well as heated seats and steering wheel, you get an upgraded sound system, 360-degree parking camera, wireless phone charging pad, sat-nav, blind spot detection, phone Bluetooth key, and an upgraded suite of safety features. You operate everything through the infotainment screen. You get buttons for climate control and volume, but other than that, it's all digital, which is annoying to figure out and a bit fiddly. But you'll probably get used to it after a while. One thing I would rather not get used to though is the laggy screen. On occasion, when reversing, the camera hasn't come on. It's a good job I can park. Disappointing MG, we need to fix that. Aside from that, I like that you can control so many things with the car, from the lights and locking to which safety features you actually want on. So there's quite a few features that you'll get for your money. But what's it like to drive? Well, surprisingly, that's one of the best things about the MG4, aside from the price, the drive. Yeah, I'm as surprised as you are. When I first drove it, I actually couldn't believe how engaging it was. It feels completely different to the other electric MG stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with them, they're just nowhere near as fun to drive, even in normal mode. Oh, got my foot down. Woo-hoo-hoo! I'm not even in sport mode, I'm in normal mode. Absolute shocker. There's 5 driving modes, by the way, and they've even got a snow mode. Corners nicely, grips the road nicely. The 4 feels agile in corners and on country roads. Does everyone else still beep to let somebody know that you're there when it's a blind corner? Maybe I'm just a geek. But I'm a geek that doesn't want to die. I was pleasantly surprised by how engaging it is to drive. Steering is light. It's not blow your face off fast, but it is nippy. Not in a lose your licence kind of way, so it's not that quick. But it does feel quite quick. The SE Standard has 161 brake horsepower and it'll do 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, which is faster than the long range versions that have got 200 brake horsepower. They'll do 0 to 60 in 7.7 seconds. The MG4 was built for efficiency though, not speed. The long range versions even come with this cool grille feature that improves your range by up to 10%. Pretty cool, eh? It's got 4 levels of braking regeneration. The strongest one won't give you one pedal driving though. But I like that you can choose the level. You can access the braking regeneration through the touchscreen, which is a bit annoying, especially on the move. It would be nice to have some paddles, just saying. The Cupra Born is comfier though, but that is pricier. On the motorway, it can keep the pace, but like all electric cars, that'll be at the expense of range. Hopefully that adaptive grille will get to wake up and save you some miles. I found the 4 quite noisy when doing over 40 miles per hour. Can you hear the noise? It sounds a bit like a spaceship, doesn't it? Repeated theme with electric cars. Wind and road noise are more prominent than I'd like. It could be down to the fact that it's electric though. There's no engine noise for the wind to compete with. You could just turn up the music. That's what I do. The drive and the price are 2 massive benefits of the 4, but so is the range and the charging time. That's one of the biggest things I find that people are looking for when it comes to going electric. The range I've been getting for very short trips in the Trophy Long Range is 325 miles at 100%. Now, the original range that I quoted to you early on in the video is the combined WLTP range. This is the kind of range you're going to get if you're doing short city driving, just so you know. The SE Standard is going to charge at home on a 7 kilowatt wall box from 10 to 100% in 7.5 hours. And at a 50 kilowatt public charger, it'll charge 10 to 80% in 52 minutes. The 2 long range versions will charge at home from 10 to 100% in 9 hours. And at a 50 kilowatt public charger, they'll do 10 to 80% in an hour. They will both charge at a 150 kilowatt charger too. You'll get 10 to 80% in just under 40 minutes. So all things considered, is the MG4 exceptionally good, or is there a catch? My verdict is, it is exceptionally good. No catch, but there are some compromises. Overall, it's a great offer, especially in the world of expensive EVs. It gives you a decent, realistic range. It's very engaging to drive for an EV, and you get a great blend of features for your money. It makes owning an electric car much more accessible than its rivals, the VW ID3 or the Cupra Born. Something else that it has over them too, for less money, is a 7-year or 80,000 mile warranty, whichever comes first, versus their 3 years. That's exceptional value. So lots of plus points for the price, but there are some trade-offs. There's less boot space than rivals, but you are saving a heap. The interior is cheap and cheerful. The infotainment system isn't as responsive as it should be. I'd hope that could be fixed, however. And there is road and wind noise over 40 miles per hour. But regardless, it's still the best value EV on the market right now. If you're willing to compromise, of course. And if you are willing to compromise, which one should you go for? I'd say that if you want to keep costs down, the SE Standard, the entry-level option, is more than adequate for most people. As long as 200 miles of range is enough for you and you don't really want the other features. But if you can afford to, if you can make your budget stretch, I'd go all out and get the Trophy Long Range. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing car content, if I do say so myself.